Hello everybody, it's me Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman.
They call him the Bookman, his rants never end. He's angry and he's loud and he has a lot of friends. If you have Alyssa Milano's number, you can always send it to Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman.
That song don't make no sense.
Hello everybody, it's me Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman. Back in 2005, Santa Monica Studios and Sony Productions created a hack-and-slash game based on Greek mythology called God of War. I'm sure we all can remember the epic trailers from God of War 1 that carried over into God of War 2, and the gods betraying Kratos and all that jazz. There were a couple of prequels and tweeners that were released on the PSP and on JavaScript, but anyone that knew anything about Kratos and the God of War series wanted to see how it ended. And in 2010 on the PlayStation 3, Santa Monica Studios and Sony Productions gave us God of War 3. What would Kratos slaughter in what should be the finale? Well, let's take a look at it together, shall we? The game opens up with a battle in Mount Olympus, between the Titans climbing up the mount and the gods looking down upon them atop the mount. Along with the Titans is our hero Kratos.
I bring the destruction of Olympus!
What is he yelling?
This prompts Poseidon to jump into action. Poseidon goes after the Titan Kratos is on, which happens to be Gaia? What? That's not Gaia. This is Gaia. Hopefully they gave her a hot voice at least.
I cannot move, Kratos. Free me!
Ah, come on! You turned Gaia into the Rockbiter's grandmother. Well, Kratos and Gaia fight against Poseidon's tentacle things. In every different area of Gaia's upper body, Kratos has to fight it, until he travels literally inside a wounded Gaia and finds her heart surrounded by impenetrable sapphire.
Remember that.
Back outside, Poseidon reveals himself.
The god of Olympus! The true warrior does not hide, Poseidon!
What is with Spartans always yelling?
This is Sparta!
Kratos fights Poseidon until Gaia finally gets involved and he removes Poseidon's body from this monstrosity he created. Now we hear the stupidity of the gods as they keep pushing Kratos' buttons.
The death of Olympus means the death of us all!
Then prepare for your death, Poseidon.
This leads to Kratos kicking the ever-loving shit out of him, gouging his eyes out, breaking his neck, and sending him into the water. Since the god of the sea has died, a flood overcomes the town of Olympus. So now Gaia and Kratos meet up with Zeus, who has a couple of tricks up his sleeve, like creating a lightning bolt that knocks Gaia and Kratos off the mountain. Kratos struggles to remain on Gaia's back, then she reveals that he was just a pawn for the Titans to use during their war with the gods, and lets him fall into the depths of Hades and the river Styx. There, a broken Kratos meets up with the spirit of Athena, a well-endowed spirit of Athena, who tells him that he needs to get to the source of Zeus's power, the flame of Olympus, and brings life back to his blades, which helps him move further into the realm. His travels lead him to Hephaestus, the smith god, voiced over by Rip Torn.
Leave me be! I tell you, I have paid the price.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Hephaestus blames Kratos for his current predicament, tells him that no one can touch the flame without dying, and helps him meet up with the god of the underworld himself. Since he's been taking his Greek god steroids, Hades becomes a formidable foe. Eventually, Kratos uses his claws against him, then takes his claws from him, then uses those claws to take Hades' soul and kill him. Since the god of the underworld is dead, the spirits of the underworld rise up into the city of Olympus. And now Kratos can swim through the river Styx and use Hyperion gates. One of them takes him to Helios, the god of the sun, is brought down by Kratos shooting a ballista into him, knocking him into this Titan's hand, who then crushes him and throws him across the way. When Kratos meets up with Helios, he asks for Kratos' help. Kratos asks about the flame, and Helios tries to blind him, until Kratos stomps on his head. Then Helios tells him,
I can tell you that to destroy Zeus, you must step into the flame to receive its power.
You lie, Helios!
You must be a fucking idiot.
yeah, I see, because Kratos then rips his fucking head off and uses it for the most interesting lantern you've ever seen. This also blocks out the sun. Kratos then meets up with Hermes, the messenger of the gods, who poetically says,
Forever ever cursed, forever ever doomed, consumed by vengeance to his last breath. The Spartan lights the way to dusty death.
Why do you say this to me when you know I will kill you for it?
Kratos tries to track him down, and eventually does when he uses this catapult. A wounded Hermes pisses off Kratos some more, and after a little bit of a fight, Kratos then takes Hermes and cuts off both of his legs. This brings about a plague in Olympus. But with Hermes' boots, Kratos can now traverse into other places he couldn't before, like this forum, where waiting for him is Hera, the queen of the gods, and...
Hello, brother.
Hera and Heracles working together? Kratos must have really angered the gods. This is a tough battle, since Heracles is both strong and fast. But eventually, Kratos takes his gauntlets and uses them to bash in his skull. And here I thought Heracles died when he set himself on fire. But now with these gauntlets, Kratos can destroy Sapphire, which helps him move further along to Poseidon's chamber, where we get another idea of the kind of man Kratos is, as he finds this voluptuous, beautiful, sensuously raspy-voiced Poseidon princess, who he pushes around before he chains up to this crank and leaves her for dead. He hears Pandora's voice again, but she's visited by...
You trifle with matters you cannot possibly understand. Stay away from this thing. Zeus. Zeus!
I'm guessing that's Zeus. Well, now Kratos goes to the upper garden levels, until he can't move any further, which takes him to... Oh, baby. This is the sexiest part of any video game. So much so that I can't show a lot of what goes on. Let's just put it this way. I like visiting this chamber and hate leaving it, but eventually you have to, unfortunately. Hephaestus offers his help by saying he needs a stone that can only be found in Tartarus. Not just any part of Tartarus though, the part of Tartarus that Kronos hangs out in. Wow, he's fucking big. You can't fight Kronos one-on-one considering you're barely even a tick to him. So you basically attack all these other creatures until Kronos swallows Kratos whole. Kronos then has a bout with indigestion when Kratos slices his way out of Kronos' stomach with the stone. You'd think that was enough, but our man Kratos kills Kronos for no apparent reason. He returns to Hephaestus, who takes the stone and creates the Nemesis Whip before he tries to turn on Kratos. Kratos instead and moves on to the upper gardens. Oh well, let's visit Aphrodite's chamber again. He meets up with Hera in this maze, who's drunken and angry with him, but he restrains himself. He then meets up with Hera again, and again he restrains himself, until she says,
Good luck with that little whore you call Pandora.
No, come on, Kratos, just leave Hera. Fine. What a guy. Well, Kratos figures out the maze and moves further on, and gets himself into the labyrinth where Pandora's being held. Now that you have Pandora, she shows just how useless she is as she continues to find herself caught in strange contraptions and traps. Eventually, they will have quiet time together where Pandora tries to lift Kratos' spirits before he sends him crashing down. With the help of Athena and Pandora, Kratos realizes he needs to climb the chain of balance, bring the labyrinth up to this area, and let Pandora unlock Pandora's box. He then gets second thoughts until she runs into Zeus! Zeus nearly kills Pandora and the fight begins. It's best to reverse Zeus's moves since he blocks pretty much everything you do on your own. But eventually, he'll take the fight outside. And when he does, Gaia gets involved, until both Zeus and Kratos dive on into her body. This is when Kratos uses the Lion Gauntlets to destroy the sapphire around her heart and cripple her while beating up Zeus. Kratos then stabs the Sword of Olympus through Zeus into Gaia's heart, giving her a massive heart attack that leads her to crumble into dust. Zeus appears to be dead until taking him into this darkened, voided area where he confronts his guilt and finds his way back out, filled with a new kind of power. Now, nothing Zeus does hurts him as he fights him off with his blades until Zeus is back to his normal form. Kratos then throws his blades away and pounds Zeus into a bloody pulp. You have to stop pressing circle after a while, otherwise you'll be doing this for 20 minutes. When you do stop, he ends up killing Zeus and bringing chaos and destruction to Olympus. Athena's happy with what Kratos did, but Kratos, now looking back at it, doesn't think it was a good idea to kill all these gods. Athena then wants the power that he seemingly found within the box. Wow, an Olympian with an angle. I never thought I'd see the day. But Kratos uses the Blade of Olympus to kill himself, sending the power out into the sky. She's upset with him as he slumps down with this giant hole in his chest. Following the end credits, we notice Kratos might not be dead after all. Now let's take a look at the challenges. Challenges is the word you want to use because these are really challenging. Some of them seem impossible, but they help you understand the control mechanics better than you would in the original game. And that's pretty much it. So what did I think of this game? It's hack and slash at its best. It's easy to control but hard to play through. You have to be defensive minded. You can't just keep mashing buttons and piling up ridiculous amounts of combo hits. You need to protect yourself, otherwise you're gonna die. The background designs are exquisite. It really shows the true power of the PS3. I am pretty much happy with most of the character designs, although in my opinion the Titans left something to be desired. I mean, Kronos is the Titan of space and time. His powers weren't really represented that well, but that's just my personal opinion. There are only two issues I have. One is the falling and flying sequences that you really need to play through a bunch of times, get killed a few times. That becomes frustrating since most of the time the obstructions come too fast to react to. You just kind of have to remember it. But more frustrating than that are the fucking jumps. I hate the fucking jumps. It drives me nuts when you go through a horde of armored cyclopses just to fall down in a crevasse you didn't even know was there. Or over jumping or not jumping far enough. These things drive me fucking insane. But other than that, not many complaints. Overall, it's a challenging, enjoyable game that'll keep you playing. If you have a PS3 and you don't have God of War 3, what the hell are you waiting for? Go and get it! Now! Don't make me angry like a Spartan. And now that I've reviewed God of War 3, I guess you're all wondering what happened to Gods of War 1 and 2. Well, I'm going to work backwards and review those for you in the near future. But until then, thank you all for watching. I have more for you soon to come. So stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.